Alright, so as you saw, I pretty much built out the shoulders and chest. I actually had a friend that was over when I was working on this. It was a good day because once a month, a bunch of the statue guys that I've known from Jersey Fest and Statue Forum and just over the years, we try to get together once a month, and this weekend, only one friend can make it. Everybody else was busy. So he sculpts too. He actually did the man in arms on my video channel. You can check that out. I'll leave it in the description. But you can kind of see, as I was working on it, I was asking him, what do you think? What should I do? So he's like, you know, build this out a little bit. But the main thing he helped me was this shoulder over here. I was building the shoulder up too far, and he was telling me I needed to bring it down. So after bringing it down, and started working out. So it's always good to have a second opinion or somebody around to, you know, say, hey, that's looking a little bit weird, or, you know, maybe you need to work on this here and there. So every time I have customs and they come down, I always show them, and, you know, people give me some feedback on stuff, which is good. So now that we have all this hardest part done, we basically have the, you know, figure. This was pretty much the hardest part. The next hardest part would probably be working out the neck, but that's really nothing major compared to taking down the shoulders and rebuilding this. Now, as I was sculpting it though, I didn't want to do any of that crazy like detailing with the, you know, the pecs here, you know, all this muscles that people draw. You know, Genis is kind of like built, he's toned, but he's not like super ripped. So I want to keep him more like, you know, just slim. So I did add a little bit of muscle stuff around in the, you know, shoulder areas, but nothing crazy. So now I have to sand this all down. We're going to work on the abs next. I'll get some of this sanded down. We'll get this cleaned up, and we'll get it to the point where I could start doing all the outfit stuff and the stars on him. And then once that's done, we'll attach the head. We'll get that on there. We can focus on the hair because it'll be easier to handle him, and then the arms will be last. Because if I have the arms on him and I'm trying to turn him working on the hair, it'll be a little bit difficult. But I think that's where we're at now. It's looking pretty good. I'm happy with it. So got pretty far, and it's good to have a second opinion while working on something. Alright, so I had a chance to get into the garage. I did some sanding, I did some priming. You saw what I did is I built up the ab section a little bit more. I had to fix up some areas, so I'm kind of just like marking some stuff just lightly where I need to kind of sand and bring some stuff in. It's like I might kind of need to sand a little bit, chop out a little bit there. But other than that, we're looking pretty good. We're getting to where I want them to be. So just for the hell of it, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to give myself an idea where I'm going to like give the markers and just like working on the star. This is by no means like the final drawing. It's just I like to kind of just mark up stuff and get an idea. Like when I'm coming to the back, I know some drawings just have it come like this. Other people have it come like down to a point, which I kind of might do just to kind of give it like a little bit of a like an arch type thing. So I'm just kind of playing with it, just seeing what I'm doing. But that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to keep cleaning up. What I'll do is I'll clean up here a little bit more, get this stuff. So once the upper body is pretty much where I need to go, we'll start working out the lower body. But I did kind of sand down here a little bit more, get all of those wrinkles out. Worked out a little bit more wrinkles around here. I got to kind of clean up this a little bit more. I don't mind something of a wrinkle if it kind of feels more like a skin wrinkle than the crazy outfit stuff. I got to clean up a little bit down here as well too, get some of this cleaned up. But we're getting there slowly. Once I kind of get this section, because this is a section I'm really concerned about the most, get this going, then we're going to kind of go in here and take out these wrinkles, and then we'll probably start working out the arms, getting those attached too. and then we'll probably move on to the legs with the boots at the end, and then we can attach the head and just keep plugging away. Alright, so I jumbled out the line work on the boots and I sanded all this down. So what I'm doing right now is I have my dentist tool, and this is one of my better ones. So what I'm going to do is probably do this off camera because I need to get in close, is I'll probably just go across the line like so and kind of create my own little even line going around it. It's a little bit easier this way because by jumbling out these lines here, I have kind of room for error. And when it squeezes up, I can sand it down and it'll be all nice and even. I've done this before on some other items. It works out pretty well as long as you have like a deep crevice going in there. So I'm just going to do this off camera. Hopefully by the time we come back, I'll have it sanded down and primed up and pretty clean. I'm going to leave these lines down here for now until I prime it up because I don't know if I want these to be the same width of that. So we might change it up or might leave it as is. So this is one of those things that's kind of like tedious work I got to do off camera. Alright guys, so we're going to kind of start working on the upper body here with the star. We're going to go over this in a second, but I came up with an idea as we're kind of almost at the end of winter. We're almost going to start going into spring. So what I want to do is I want to have a lot of this done ready by like midsummer. So this way I have nice hot weather where I can actually cast up a clear resin power blast hand. So what I'm thinking about doing is basically what we're going to have to do is we're going to attach these arms onto him, and then we're going to have to cut it like right here. Not cut it. This is kind of where the red stops on his body for his outfit. It doesn't stop all the way up here. It stops more like here. So I figure what we'll do is we'll attach this hand and arm to his body, and then what we'll do is we'll cut it off at the wrist, and what I'll do is I'll make a removable hand with the negaband. So we'll have the negaband here, we'll have the hand, and this will be removable. And then what I'm thinking of doing is what we'll do is we'll make a mold of the hand and the wrist. And then what I'm going to do is when we make that mold of the copy, I'm going to sculpt a power blast coming out. You won't even see the hand because I got a really cool idea on how to sculpt the power blast. It'll come about this far away from the hand, like that far, because it's not going to be like a long blast. It's going to be like that far, and I want to make it look like the Marvel vs. Capcom type of blast, like if you ever Marvel vs. Capcom 2 with Cable, where he Cyclops' blast when it starts to go. If you watch the animation frames, it goes here, here, and here, and we get it to like maybe right about there, and that's kind of where I'll stop it. And then what I'll do is once we get that done, I'll cast it up, and I'll make another mold of it, and we'll cast it up in clear resin. You need a hot summer really to do a nice good clear resin casting, only because my studio and garage doesn't get hot enough to do that stuff. So that's kind of my idea, because this is a holy grail for me, so I don't mind spending like $40 extra on a mold kit and then $40 on clear resin. So you can always do this type of stuff with your projects, but the problem is materials and time get costly. But we're going to start working on the star in the chest for now, so I just figured I'd explain that to you guys how the project's going to go and how I'm planning it out. So what I did first is I did some illustrator work of some stars, just different sizes, just to kind of give me an idea of what I was going to do. And of course the smallest one is the kind of one that fit on his chest. So what I did is I made a bunch of copies on this just in case, just so I can have it. And if I need to cut out more stars for, you know, if I have to prime and I lose the star over. So kind of drawing on the upper body here, as you can kind of see. What I did was sort of kind of marked out where it's going to go around his body, where the star is going to be, and then I kind of twisted it around and did around here as well. So that's kind of where I got the lining up of the part. So what I'm going to do next is I probably should do the star first and then actually do this stuff around it. So that's what I might do, is I might start building up the star. Usually the way I build up a star is I'll throw A's on this one, A's on this one here and here, let it cure up overnight, and then the next day I build up these here, and then it's kind of built up high, and then I sand it all down. So that's kind of how I'm going to work tonight, because I got a little bit extra leaves left right now, so this would be kind of good to really start doing that. So I like my star to be kind of built up off the chest but flat. I don't want it to be like embedded into the body, because I don't like to see the chest. I like to see it's like kind of like a symbol, but I don't need it to be stylized like I think it was Sideshow's Captain Marvel female, where they did that star on the chest where it was all pointy and it was all stylized. Not really. I want to keep it true to the comic where it's kind of flat. So once we get the star done, then I can work out the line around there. And then what we'll probably start doing is maybe we'll get the head attached and get that going, or we'll attach the arms first, we'll cut them off, and then we'll attach the head. So it's just, you know, I'm just thinking out loud as I'm kind of progressing on it. So we're going to start the star now. I also came up with the idea, we're going to have the star set up this way, because the body is twisted, so you can't really have the star kind of bend. I don't really want to go that route. I want to keep the symbol kind of straight. At first I was going to have it low, but then it wasn't working, so I kind of had to bring it up a little bit more. So it's a little bit tricky, you know, because the body is twisting, so you got to kind of run with it. But I think once we get this star on, everything else will just kind of start falling into place. So let's get working on that, and then hopefully by the end of the summer, and like another 2 or 3 videos in, we'll start doing that clear blast, and I think it'll look really, really cool.
Everything changes.
Alright, so this would be a good chance to stop this video. You see we got the boots going. I like the way they're looking pretty good as far as the comp as I could get them. We got a little bit more cleaning to do here and there, but any of the really like fine-tuning detail work I'm going to save for later. I want to try to get a lot of the majority of the stuff done because once the weather breaks in the spring, summer, I want to be able to do the clear resin hand, and I need the hot weather to do that. So if I can get the majority of this done, then it'll be a really good timing by the summertime where I could just make some quick molds of the thing I'm going to sculpt, and then it's pretty much ready to be painted after that. So you can see we got the upper chest done, we got the abs done, the shoulders, so that's all cleaned up. I have to sort of prime him up now and actually clean up the arms, only because I did a little bit more sculpting work around in here, and I did some more back over here that I just didn't sand down yet. So I also did the star, and then I did this line off camera, only because this is kind of tedious work and I can't really show it. Basically all you have to do is roll out some thin A's, put it around the area, and then just sort of smush it down, and then sort of cut off an X-Acto blade with it, get a nice fine line, and then use a paintbrush and just kind of work it. So if you look at the edges, they're fairly clean, but if you were to look at downwards, you would see the A's comes up high and low, high and low. So I just got to kind of sand it down so it gets sort of flat and there's a mark there, but it's not like pushing off the statue too far. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But I have to do that line of work again. I have to do one here and I have to do one over here as well, because that's kind of where the you know, outfit ends. But next steps are, by the time we come back, hopefully it'll be primed up, hopefully this will be all cleaned up. So we're going to focus on the head next pretty much. I'm going to focus on getting these arms, hands magnetized. The reason why I want to magnetize them is I really want to have a change of hand option here, and then also it's just easier to kind of paint up these bracelets when it's magnetized. Because if you have more meat of resin over here than trying to paint underneath here, it's kind of hard. So if you have like pieces taken away, it makes life easier. So the way this hand is going to work, I'll try to give a little bit of explanation real quick, is what we're going to do is I made marks here, black marker here and a mark there, so at least I know where this lines up. So what we'll do is we'll magnetize this hand with a magnet here, a rod in his hand, and then once this hand is set up, and this is pretty much cleaned up with a negaband, I got everything lined up, all this is kind of cleaned, then what we're going to do is we're going to make a throwaway mold of this hand with the negaband that's on it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of set it up where it's going to kind of get keyed again, but it doesn't have to be magnetized, just so I could kind of plan it out with that resin copy. And then we're going to make a blast off the hand and it's going to come out. So this way, when I sculpt all that out and it works out, I'll have to make another mold of that hand and then cast it up in clear resin. But I need that hot summer to do it, so it's going to take a little bit longer. But then what I think is going to happen is that clear resin that comes around the base, what it's going to do is in the hand, it's going to kind of connect into it. I'm going to set it up where it can kind of connect. So this way, when I paint it up, we'll have the negaband painted in gold, but then I'll kind of blend it out to like the clear yellow blasting out. So it's going to kind of, clear is going to come around to the hand, and then it's going to kind of blast. So I think it's going to be really cool. And like I said, this is kind of a grail for me, so I want to spend a little bit of the extra cash. Like I said, it's like a $40 kit of the trial kit of clear resin, and then another quick kit of mold just to make a throwaway mold, or I can find some cheap mold at a store or something. You know, just anything that could really work out. I think it would be pretty cool. So that's kind of where we're at now. A little bit more to go, so hopefully by the next video we'll have a lot of the head work done. Maybe the hair will be done, it'll be attached. We'll key up the hands, and pretty much after that it's just a matter of focusing on that hand. And maybe by the time the hand's done, it's clear resin's all done, everything's going to be ready to be painted. So it's going to be a little bit tricky, take a little bit of extra time, but I think it's going to pay off in the end.